So yeah, as I said, I'm standing here in the middle of what we call our Atlantic vineyards. It's a Sauvignon Blanc vineyard just outside Darling. What you can see over my shoulder here, and I'm going to just move over, is when we look across we actually see the ocean in the distance there. That's the Atlantic Ocean down near Azefontein. This block that we're standing near to here, this is all the Sauvignon Blanc that is used in our Fairview Sauvignon Blanc. Adds a lovely crisp, fresh mineral character to the wines. All planted on this beautiful deep red oak leaf soils that you can see. And then just across the road on the other kopje or other hill on the farm, these blocks are used for our spice root Sauvignon Blanc. And the spice root is sourced exclusively from this farm, so it's a wine of origin Darling. And yeah, a lot of that mineral, sort of very crisp, zesty character, which is typical to the vineyards from this region.
I think we were here about 2.5 weeks ago in this exact same location, same vineyard. Lots happened in the last 2 weeks. David Tully, who's my neighbour right next door, farms in a place called Lanner Hill. He's a Scotsman that realised that Scotland couldn't play rugby and moved to South Africa, and is a farmer in this region. And part of the arrangement I have with David is that he tends to our vineyards and under Taster's supervision. David, you've been here for how many years now?
In Darling for 18 and on the Towers farm for 10.
So you've had 10 vintages here?
No, 8 vintages.
8 vintages. Can you tell me how this vintage looks compared to the previous 8?
We have not seen a vintage like this in Darling, with the evenness and the flavours, the sugars, everything seems to be coming together absolutely perfectly at the moment. It's not been seen in all the vintages I've done.
Okay.
We've either had to struggle, higher sugars or lower sugars, or the weather has not been inclement at the moment. It is running very
And what
nicely.
do you think the main reason would be? The wet winter we had?
Wet winter has been, it goes to show that not only is it a heat spike in January, February that can upset it, a vintage can be made from way back December, November with a complete weather with us all the way from the beginning. It
Okay.
makes a big difference.
Okay, Dave, thank you.
There you can see some good bunches, still a little bit on the green side. At the moment we are just tasting it and making sure that the sugar levels are right and that the acidity is not too overpowering. And at the end of the day we're waiting for the fig flavors to go a little bit more to tropical. But at the moment these ones, you can see they've still got a little bit of a bluish color. They're probably still another 5-6 days over.
Okay. So the big thing is now is that we want to get it on the right flavour profile, because we've got this very even, slow ripening. We've got time on our side to choose the exact right day. And we wanted to migrate from the grassy to the figgy, and then from the figgy to the tropical flavours.
Yep.
That's where we are.
Yes.
And this vineyard is a little bit mixed. There's a bit of a mixed bag here, some greener, some riper. So we're going to hold back on this, and lower down the hill we've got some that have already moved through
More
fig to
exposed, more exposed fruit, more riper flavors.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you. If you look to the right, that's the Fairview hill over there, and I'm standing now in what is the Spice Root Sauvignon Blanc block. We call it the amphitheatre, because if you look across it, you can see it's sort of situated in the shape of an amphitheatre overlooking what is called Dussen Island. Dussen, I think it Duss is a hare, a rabbit. So in the distance is Dussen Island. And this selection we keep for spice root. The main reason for that is that these vineyards are a lot older. I think this is about 12 years already placed, something like that, 12 years.
Yeah.
And so they've come into a nice balance, and they are in harmony with the soil and the site and the terroir. And if you look in, the bunches are perfectly ripe, and I wish I could let everybody taste these berries. They're unbelievable. It's gone through the stage of figginess. This is the end of figginess. And it's starting with that very tropical flavor. And what I like about this vintage is that the berries are all still nice and green and fresh, and they have a very good natural acidity, which is going to bode well for the give backbone to it. So it's not going to be too blousy, the wine. So you're going to have this racy acidity. And also the big benefit of that is that you're going to get wines that are going to have the ability to mature in the bottle. Beautiful. Yeah. This is the disadvantage of farming dry farm conditions, no irrigation. So if your soils are not perfect, and you do find little areas, patches in the vineyard where the soil's not exactly the same as the neighboring vine. If you just look down the row you'll see behind me, the vines are perfect. So you've got about 6 vines in this row that aren't very good. Now, if you taste these grapes, you'll find they got very little flavor, if anything at all. And what we'll do is we'll remove these grapes out of the selection and harvest them separately in some kind of special late harvest or something like that.